and would go to visit a friend after, and that was the main road back to my house. So I drove by that cemetery every night. After Monty was buried there, every night I drove by, the street light would blink off and then on. As I was approaching in my car, the light would go off, and as I passed, I'd look in my rearview mirror and it would go on. I paid attention ever since that first time. It was that entire summer, every night I drove by, that light did that. I knew it was him. I don't know how, but somehow I knew it was him. It made me believe that he was still around, and I wasn't upset so much anymore as comforted in knowing that. The last time the light blinked on and off, I was on my way home, and as I approached the light, it had blinked off, and every window in my car fogged up for probably 5-10 seconds, but it seemed a lot longer. Every window in my car had fogged up. I couldn't see out of my windows, and it may have lasted 5 or 10 seconds, I'm not sure. And as the windows cleared and I looked in the rearview mirror, the light came back on, and that was the last time that it ever blinked. I didn't know what was happening at the time, and the windows kind of scared me, but then I knew, and when that light blinked back on and the next night it didn't, I knew what had happened. Every night I was waiting, hoping that it just might do it again, and it didn't. It was kind of like the end, like I had seen the last of him or heard the last of him. It made me sad again, knowing that he wouldn't be around. I didn't tell anybody until I had gone to see a psychic. At the end of the reading, he had asked me if there was anything else I wanted to know, and I said no. And he said, yes, there is. He said, you want to know about the light? So I just kind of got a chill, and I said, okay. And he said, what happened to him? What happened to his head? I said, he shot himself in the head. And he said, did he drive a red sports car? And I said, yes, he used to race a sports car. He said, the light, he said, when it was blinking, he was letting you know that he was still watching over you and taking care of you. And that last night, he was letting you know that he was going to be leaving and moving on, that he couldn't stay here with you anymore. And not until then that I had some sort of proof that I wasn't crazy did I tell my friends. And I didn't even tell my family until a few weeks ago, after all these years of me not telling them and coming out and telling them that this had happened. It sort of blew them away, and they were glad that it happened. I truly believe, even though I always have, but now more than ever, I know that people are out there taking care of others and watching over us. There are angels, and there is a supernatural world that we have no idea about. Everybody has their own beliefs, whether it's supernatural or God or Buddha or who it may be that they need to believe in. And some people close off any other options. I've always kind of waited for something like that to happen and hoped that it would, to prove that there is an afterlife. There is more out there than what we see. Our loved ones may die physically, but they're still looking out for us. They're still there spiritually.
Helen looked in on Pauline's family. Monty was like a big brother to Stacy, even in death. Both women were comforted by a ghostly encounter. Sometimes the living will fixate on their dead loved ones as a way of postponing the grief process. Both our psychologists note that neither Pauline nor Stacy did this. They both accepted the death. They considered it a gift, knowing that Helen and Monty, though dead, still seemed to be spiritually present in this world. Many of us in the Western world live our lives in linear time. We have a past, a present, and a future. It's hard to conceive of time in any other way. That's one of the reasons we have so much trouble accepting the idea of a supernatural world. Unlike the West, some cultures see time as a series of circles that intersect. The dead are simply in a different circle, one that exists simultaneously within our own. And so they believe there is a road between these worlds that is open to spirits who know the way. For Pauline and Stacy, the ghost that they believe found that road also helped ease their loss, and they confirmed a belief in an afterlife that makes death just a little less frightening.
And so everybody asked, were you afraid? I said, I wasn't afraid of Nanny when she was alive, so we weren't afraid of her. We thought it was kind of comforting to know that she might be around or be able to see us or say hi.
There's nothing to be afraid of. It's a comforting experience if it's someone you love.